our Work With Me live streams. But today we are doing something a little bit different, and I'm really excited. I've got my friend Daren here. If you guys know, he participated in 12 days of giveaways and gave out some tickets to his upcoming conference, Craftsman Creative, which is coming up very soon. Very soon. But today we are actually going to live build out his new offer called the Blockbuster Business Blueprint, B cubed, as we just jokingly said. So in this live, you are literally going to get an unfiltered, just in my brain breakdown of how I work on projects, but we're going to do it live. So we're going to go through his workflow strategy. So how people kind of come into the ecosphere, they check out, they interact with this Notion, I guess we call it dashboard workspace. And then what are those intended automated workflows? How can we make his life a little easier with passive income? And then we are going to audit what he's already started building in Notion. And then if we have time, which I believe we will, because we're going to be here for about 3 hours, guys. It's going to be a long day. I'm very excited. We are going to actually build out those changes together and kind of tackle that so he can get it launched and ready to go by Monday. Because we both have kind of this personal goal, if you will, to not launch anything new in 2024. And so our hard deadline is Monday the 8th, getting all of the final bells and whistles done. And so that was a long intro, but grab your coffee, grab a blank page in Notion, take your notes. I've got an onyx cup today. It's a snake. It's a vibe. But I'm going to hand it over to you, Daren, so you can kind of give an intro to everybody that's tuning in, walk us through what you are launching, what the product is, and we're going to get going.
Amazing. I am drinking mud water, by the way. So for those who are looking at me going, he doesn't drink coffee. Still don't drink coffee. It's mud water.
Fine.
But I drink mud water and I love it. Thank you, Sarah, for doing this. This was a random idea I texted you about like 2 weeks ago, and you're like, yeah, let's do it. And I love people that are just, I'm in, let's do it. Yeah. So I'm very excited. Like you said, this is going to be kind of the one thing that I'm going to be marketing all year. I'm trying to do less but better, and really trying to simplify the outcome for the people that I work with my business, Craftsman Creative. So it's really about building profitable creative businesses, independent creative businesses. And I have a book that's coming out soon. I have an event that you mentioned that's at the end of this month. And I'm like, I need a workbook for the event, but I don't like workbooks because you fill them out during the event and then they go away, or you lose them, or you never revisit those. And they're not a great starting point for actually implementing the work. They're great for taking notes, but I want something that's going to be used every single day of like, okay, I did that. What do I do next? I did that. What do I do next? And I instantly thought Notion. So then I instantly thought you, and I'm like, how do I figure this out? Because I use Notion to like collect recipes. Like that's what I use it for. So I'm very excited. I'm a noob when it comes to Notion, but what I see this becoming is the entry point for everyone coming into my business, whether they're going to ultimately be the consulting client and we're going to do it for them, they'll still have the dashboard and be able to follow along. Or if they're in my community and we're doing it together, or if they're doing it on their own, there's still this really robust resource in this dashboard, this blueprint that I'm calling it, because it has to be on brand. I'm Craftsman.
Yeah, of course.
Got to call it a blueprint. And that's the goal here. It's gonna kind of serve double duty in the workbook for the event, but also the product after the event.
Totally. Yeah. And I will say too, I think that not only is it really smart to have a holistic product that can kind of kill all the birds with one stone, right? Because for my content subscription workflow of the month, I have one lead magnet for my entire business that I tell everybody, this is what we start with every single month of workflow. Whether you are a paid in subscriber or you just need a little support, like this one product is going to help you across the board. And I think it's really important as we talk about streamlining and looking at our businesses just from a bird's eye view, being able to have a product that touches everything that you do as an entry point or a complementary to a larger idea literally is next level. Like most people don't think about it that way. And when you can create something like what we're going to build today, I think it's really just going to totally change the way that you are well known, or rather, what was, I think Kahi just tweeted it yesterday,
Yeah,
being the
known
difference
well instead
between
of well
known
known.
well instead of
Yeah,
well known, And so I'm excited to dive into this. I think this is going to be really fun. Okay, so what I want to start with is getting a screen share up. Obviously, Sarah, my brain. Listen, it's early, guys. It's gonna be fine. So let's get. Why is it not? Hold on, guys. Technical difficulties. It's telling me. Oh, there we go. Unable to access screen share. Guys, what the fuck?
that's no bueno.
Why are we not screen sharing? Oh my God, the stress of my brain. It's saying it's screen sharing and then it's stopping. And it's saying, I need, oh no, not that I need permission. No.
Oh no,
Oh my
change my
God.
video. Don't go
And
that
it just
far.
changed your video.
That was
Oh
me
my.
messing around with. I wanted to see if there was any sharing options from my side, but
Also, y'all, if you are watching this, I just want you to know that this is the first ever time that I am co-live with somebody, and I have a feeling that Chrome is really mad at me. Because it's telling me it's sharing the window, but then it's saying that it can't. Okay, well, we're just going to go through this verbally, and because that's not going to stop us. And then I will try to screen share as we go.
if you have a link, you could send me a link and I could be looking at it from my side.
Yeah. I probably should have done that from the
All
get-go.
good. The other question now I'm looking at it is my video the right way? Does that book in the background read properly or is it backwards right now?
It's backwards.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
I bet you.
Why can't they
There you
just
go.
always make
Now
it?
it's good.
Always.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a restream issue because, and I can't restart or it's going to cut the stream. I wonder if I could sidecar my iPad, guys. Just hold on 1 second, because listen, we're gonna make this work today. And it was working before we like officially went live, so this is just like complete stress.
No stress here.
Okay.
Zero stress level 0, as my video game high school friends used to say.
Yes. Did you get the mirror link that I sent you?
I did. I'm just logging into that.
Okay. Let me see.
That's another app that I'm a noob for. I have had. What? Ask the board owner to grant you permission to view this board.
Oh, I think I have to unlock it. Hold on 1 second.
Request access. See if that works.
Can edit. Anybody I invite can edit. Permission. Anyone with board access. Okay. Let me try this 1 second, guys. Also, I would love to hear in the chat, as we are trying to maneuver this, how your holiday was. Let us know. Okay. Let's see how I do this. Paste and go. Okay. All right, because if I can just screen share my iPad, allow the camera, I'll just put Miro on my iPad and then join the stream. Sarah's iPad. Oh, it's all good. Oh my God, that was terrible.
We'll do it live.
Oh my God. I quit.
So good.
And of course, it's telling me that screen sharing is not available on iPad. So, you know what, guys? Oh my God. Maybe we just, you know what? Maybe we just do a refresh.
I'm good with
No,
that.
'cause we have. Oh, did you get into Miro?
No, it's still saying I need to request access for it.
Okay, just try a refresh because it's public live.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
So,
Okay.
okay, cool.
So I'm going to try one thing before we do a refresh.
See
I'm going
if
to see
live
if I can
streaming
share
is
screen.
working for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because there's two of us in here or something.
maybe. Let's go to that for now. Share. Oh,
Oh, it said that you're sharing the. Okay, now I can turn it on. Okay, y'all, listen. Here we are.
yeah.
Here we are. It is
Look at
the
that.
first day back from holiday break. Perfect. I love it. Okay. So, if you guys have been in my live streams previously, you know that I spend a ton of time in Miro. I am not sponsored. I wish I was. Maybe that'll happen this year. But what I love about this tool is it allows us to really break down what we are looking at from a bird's eye view, what's manual, what's automated. And so you can see here, this is kind of my key that I use for everybody. So if it's light green, it is a manual action of the customer. If it is darker lime green, it's an automated workflow. And then Daren, for you, anything that's blue will be a manual action that you take. So what we first want to do is kind of map out what your tech stack looks like for this. Obviously, we know that it's Notion, right? So we're using Notion to um, deliver the actual product, but what are you using in terms of selling? Is it just an email download? Is it a paid product? Kind of walk me through how people are actually getting the Notion page.
Yeah, the landing page for this really will be a scorecard.
Okay.
I love getting a lot of data and being able to personalize the recommendation of here's what you should do next.
Okay.
Because my audience ranges from people who are not creative but want to be and have never published anything on the internet, never created a product before, all the way to they're already doing 7 figures a year, but they're not profitable and they've got 6 people on payroll and they got to figure out how to fix that. So those are like the consulting clients I work with, video production companies, recording studios, podcast studios, um, things like that are the people I work with. And so if the single entry point is a scorecard, then I can ask them 30, 40 questions. And by
Mhm.
the end, I have really good data on, okay, you're at this level. You need to get this version of the dashboard rather than just having them all hit the dashboard and go, I don't know what to do here. Because they might be looking for a done for you offer and they might be looking for a do it yourself, really inexpensive offer.
Mhm.
And so ultimately that will end up right now I've got it built out on the landing page or the results page of the scorecard where it
Mhm.
kind of says here are the 3 options and ultimately I'll change that depending on what audience they fall under for here you go. But right now there's a you can download the dashboard for free
Okay.
and you've taken the scorecard so I already have your email so this is like a freebie. It feels like they don't have to do anything extra to get it. And then there's 3 paid versions. So the do it yourself is you get the dashboard plus video, which is training that goes along with every single one of the different cards that you'll see when we get into Notion. There's different cards that are like action items for your
Okay.
business. And then the level up from that is the dashboard plus video plus community. So you get into the community that I built last year. We're doing it together. There's extra training. There's monthly breakthrough sessions, which is like group coaching, and weekly accountability, and a whole community built on Circle where you can ask questions and get help. And
Okay.
then the top tier is the done for you, which is you get a dashboard, but we run it. We're the ones who are going to basically get, top to bottom done for you in the next 2 months. And that'll unlock 6 figures of profit in your business over the next 12 months.
Okay.
So I don't know if that answered the tech stack question, but the scorecard is built using an app called Score App.
Okay.
And then it's all self-contained in there. And so it's a question of, should I put it on the Notion marketplace? Should I put it on Lemon Squeezy? Should I put it on
Mm,
ConvertKit Commerce? Like, I
sure.
don't have currently have a way to do that, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Would you mind zooming out on your
Oh, sure thing.
screen? Yes, just so people can see. Um, okay. So I think in terms of if you do if you do like command and then the minus sign, yeah, there you go. So I think in terms of selling, Notion Marketplace is more for uh, visuals, right? Like there's no checkout on there. So while I think that that's great, Notion definitely pushes more free templates than anything. So what I would recommend if you're submitting is do the free version on there and then do an email funnel that upsells it,
Yeah.
right?
Do you have the ability? Do you capture the customer's info if you do it through Notion?
Yeah, because basically the button to download it, it would go to a landing page. So like let's say you did
Gotcha.
Gumroad or Lemon Squeezy, you
Okay.
would it when they click it, it would go there so you can capture their emails,
Perfect.
so to speak. Um, you guys know I'm a huge lemon squeezy fan. I know some people have issues with it, but I personally love what they're building at Lemon Squeezy, and I have never looked back from leaving Gumroad. So I think that's more of a personal preference. But you also could just go directly in Stripe, right? And just build out the Stripe directly and then embed that payment plan or that paywall rather
Mhm.
into your website or into the Score app. I've never used Score app, so I'm not sure, what the capabilities are. Um, but then we need your email, right? So are you on ConvertKit,
Yeah.
right? Okay, ConvertKit. And then we need a paywall, and we'll say lemon squeezy, Stripe, etc. Okay,
I'm
now is
probably
there?
leaning toward either ConvertKit Commerce or building Stripe into.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I can build it into a page on Score app, so that would
yeah. I
limiting the
think
number of places they need to go to is always nice for me, I think.
I always forget about ConvertKit Commerce. I don't personally use ConvertKit, so I forget that that's a thing. Okay, and then when people, and this will make sense as we start mapping this out, but when people get the video, are you planning on using something like Tella? Are you going to upload the video as a direct file into Notion, or do you want to be able to see the view count of how many people actually are interacting with the video?
Yeah, so the videos will be basically the recordings from the event,
Okay.
chopped up, edited, and put into the Notion. And so that's a question of is it easy to embed video? I think it is. I would probably just do unlisted video and embed it into each card. So it's like, oh, if you want
Mhm.
to get the 20-minute or 60-minute version
Mhm.
of how to do this
Mhm.
step, watch this video. I'd love to see view counts and have that as part of the analytics on YouTube, rather
Yeah,
than introducing another hosting thing I have to pay every month
sure,
for.
sure. Yeah, the great thing about that is that it'll drive traffic to, your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I personally love lemon squeezy. Oh my god, I love Tella because of the subtitles. I can edit in app, but I use it for other things. So I think that that's great. If you're using the recordings, you upload them unlisted to YouTube. The only thing that's the downside to that is they don't count towards your watch hours. So just be mindful of that. So if that matters to you, all of those different rules. Okay, so we've got the unlisted videos. Okay, now when somebody, let's say, oh, and Circle, we have Circle on here for the community. But when somebody does the paid done for you, what platform are you using for booking calls to, like, what does that onboarding look like for them?
Yeah, from the scorecard, they would be
Mhm.
presented with that offer of hop on a call. And so right
Okay.
now I'm using cal.com.
Okay. Perfect. Same.
Um, yeah, so that's been solid. I've used plenty of others, but cal is what I'm sticking with now. Um, and then that's a call, and then it's a pretty much a direct, like I send an invoice and get paid that way, so I'm not paying strike fees and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's
Do
a
you
$15,000 offer. Like it's not. I don't want to run that through Stripe, you know.
Sure, sure. What are you
Um,
using for invoicing?
Novo is my bank, so they just do.
Novo.
I can send invoices from the bank, select what options are available, and I don't take credit cards or debit cards because then You get
Yeah,
charged
it's
that
just a
way. So it's
wire.
a bank transfer or a check that they send.
Love it. Oh, we got to get you away from checks. Wires are great.
Oh, I haven't had a check in 2 years, but
Oh,
it's
good.
an option if they want. Actually, it's not true. I got a
Right.
check in December, but you know,
That's crazy.
a
The
lot of solo creators don't do wire
Yeah,
transfers yet. They're
sure. Well, I think they're so hard to like navigate. I did a wire transfer with somebody, and it went into their Stripe as a Stripe credit, and they didn't even get notified that the
oh,
money went through, but it was debited out of mine, and we had to do all of this like weird and it was Wells Fargo, and it's like, why is it going into your Stripe account? Like it was so overwhelming.
yeah.
So I yeah. Um Okay, cool. So let's start building out. I want to build out each of the workflows for the free option, and then the 3 paid. So starting off strong, how is somebody going to find the free version of this? Is it going to be a pop-up on your website? What does that look like?
Yes to that. So it will
Okay.
definitely, right now, all of the content going onto the website, the blog, is like my book. I'm writing it in public. And so every chapter that I write, it gets published. I'm publishing 3 times a week right now. But after that, I'm I'll be publishing once or twice a month to the blog.
Okay.
So everything on the blog will be revamped to have this is the pop-up, like the exit intent. It'll be call to action in the middle of a post. It'll be the call to action at the end of a post. Like the whole website will get a nice refresh with this is the offer. This is the next step. If you're not in the ecosystem of Craftsman Creative, click this button, get a free email series, take the scorecard, get the free download. It's all kind of 3 lead magnets in one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm big on lead magnets pointing to each other. So if they like the scorecard, then they're going to automatically get a copy of my book. They're automatically going to get the download for the dashboard. So like they're just getting tons of value right up front before any offer is presented or any transaction occurs.
Okay.
So
So
blog will be a
added
big one.
to say that one more time. So the funnels that they're then going to get added to is the book, and then what else? What's the
It's
other one
really
there?
an email sequence, like a
Okay,
welcome
so just the
sequence. It's
email.
kind of an
Yeah.
overview of my framework, which is called the movie framework. For those of you who are not in the know, I'm a film producer. I do full time, and so I'm very pleased with the fact that I have a framework that is the movie framework.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll get, whether they take the scorecard or download the Notion thing or any of those, will point to the 5-day welcome sequence in ConvertKit, overview of here's where you are, here's where you want to get, and this framework is the path that I've created to help you get there.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that really points to if by the end of the week you haven't downloaded your dashboard, go do that now, because that's where the rest of the action takes place. And so
when you are delivering this, do you want people to be redirected to that Notion dashboard, or is it going to be delivered as a link in a welcome email? So like when
it'll
they
be,
download it, they just have to wait for their inbox.
yeah, that's a good question. I think depending if they come through, like say I post on Twitter, they click over to my blog, they grab, like the call to action or the offer presented there would be grab the dashboard, grab this free dashboard to help you create a profitable
Sure.
creative business.
After they enter their email.
After they enter their email,
Like will the funnel, or like the email ribbon or the pop-up after they hit submit to enter their email, is it going to redirect to Notion automatically, or do they need to wait till it hits their inbox?
that's a good question. Haven't thought that far. I think going directly to it makes the most sense if that's what they signed up for, rather than having it hit their email, because I see so many times where it gets into the wrong tab on Gmail or gets put not in spam. Really, I don't see a lot of people going, oh, it was in spam, but I'd love to just go directly to the download.
Okay.
But that would probably be a separate page on my website. That way I have all the control of like, here's where you are, here's what this is, here's imagery, here's what you get, and then present them with the 3 different options of how to get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really, it's 4. It's you can get it for free, and it's just a download link on the page. Right?
Okay.
So I do have to think about that, because I could make the page available only to people who have put their email in, but I also don't want to build up a massive list of subscribers on Ghost, which is what my blog is built on, because when you do that, you'll get charged. So I do a monthly cleaning of like, oh, I had 400 new people join the blog. I just remove them from Ghost because I have them in ConvertKit, and I don't want to be double charged. So, but I also don't have any. I don't have any more like locked pages on my site.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess though, if it's a page and it's not in a menu anywhere and it's not linked anywhere, then it's probably safe enough. I'm not going to get people clicking over there and just downloading it without giving me. So,
right.
And if they do, great, because if they like it, they'll come and get in my ecosystem later. I'm not super strict. So yeah, ideally it would go to a page on the website that I built that they can download it for the free version or purchase one of the 3 paid versions.
All right. So we've got So we've got this. So they're going to actually.
I love that your brain works like mine. This is awesome. I that in real time. Like I've drawn.
I am such a visual person. Like I have to,
pages of drawings like this in my morning page notebook. That's just like, oh, it could go from here to here to here.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so they're gonna download the free version, whether it's a CTA, a pop-up, that is going to redirect them to an upsell page. Mm-hmm. Then there's 2 options, right? They're either going to exit that upsell and say, I don't want this, which then they'll still complete the, we'll just call this uses dashboard. That's kind of the end of the line, right? So that's done. But when they complete the upsell, now we have multiple options, right? So the first one is going to be, we'll call this, what do we want to call the first paid version? We'll call it maybe the base. Well, you know what I'm talking about if I use the word base.
Yeah, I have it listed as like Blueprint plus video, and then Blueprint plus community, and then Blueprint plus.
Maybe we'll say B plus B. There we go. Yeah. Blueprint plus video, and then we'll call this B plus C, and then the last one
is the done for you or consulting.
DFY. Okay. So we've got this, and we've got this. Perfect. All right. So we'll just move those out of our way for now. So when they complete the upsell, this is going to be done with Stripe. Wait, no, ConvertKit Commerce, CK Com. Probably, right?
Probably.
With. Okay. So then after that, will they be removed from that initial welcome sequence then?
No, they'll still get that, but what I would do is just duplicate it with a different initial welcome email, so that the other 5 emails are the same, but the welcome would be different. Hey, you just purchased this thing. So excited. Here's how this works. This week, I'm just giving you a broad overview so that you're caught up, so that you know like what you just got yourself into. And so it's built in a way where they can't receive it twice. They wouldn't be re-enrolled in it. So if they'd already gone through it, it would just bypass that welcome. But I will have a separate welcome sequence for those who purchase any of the 3. Probably not the done for you. Those are really manual like touch points instead of automated emails.
Sure. Okay, so then is there any further action that you want them to take? I guess the next thing would be that they watch the video first. Or, well, actually, hold on. hold on.
Mhm.
To go back, after they purchase, do you want them to get access via email or redirect?
I think a redirect is fine there as well. Just because, again, I can make it so that there's a video on the page. Hey, thanks for purchasing this. Let me do a quick 5 or 8 minute overview of what you just did. If you're coming from the free version, this is a different version, because I don't think you can do versioning in Notion, right? You can't just like,
No.
yeah.
I think on the free version, after they enter their email, it just redirects to the upsell and they get access to that version via email. I think that's what's going to make the most sense here, is that you're not redirecting to Notion whatsoever. It's just
Right.
straight in their email.
Yeah.
So so then in their inbox, they're going to get the welcome sequence. They're going to watch video and use dash. But then this is the community version, which means that they also need to be added to
This is
Circle.
this is
Just kidding.
yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
No,
Yeah.
you're good.
Getting ahead. Okay, so that would be, now, are you planning on, in this welcome sequence, or I guess a secondary funnel, upselling them into the community after the fact?
Yeah, and that would be built into that version of the
Okay.
dashboard of
Okay.
like, hey, you don't have to go it alone. You know, the community is always available to you. So that in each card there'd be a little just link text to, when you're ready, join the community.
Okay.
And then they would be, you know, getting my weekly emails that will also be plugging based on like liquid in ConvertKit. It's like, oh, they purchased this, but they're not in the community. So their upsell for each email should be, when you're ready, here's the next step, join the community.
Okay. So I want to do that. So what if they don't join the community? Are they just on your email list forever?
Yep.
Okay.
Until they buy or bounce.
Buy or bounce. Okay. No upsell, just emails. So, okay. So there's our 2 fields. Okay. So now when they complete this, it's pretty much going to be the same. Well, okay, so once they join the community, are you going to upsell them for the DIY version, or done for you version rather?
No,
Or
they're really 2 different avatars, 2 different client personas. One is, the community is really for independent creators, and in that context, it's like solo creators, people who are running businesses like myself.
Okay.
They may have a virtual assistant or a partner, but they don't have a business with 5, 6 employees and doing high 6 or low 7 figures a year.
Okay.
Done for you is really like, you're right around the 7-figure mark, but you're not profitable. So let's get you there by building it out for you.
Okay, perfect. So automations after they complete the upsell for the Blueprint Plus community, they'll get their own separate welcome sequence. Will the Circle invite, do you want that triggered automatically, or that they get an email from Circle, or do you want a generalized invite link that's in an email that you manipulate in the welcome sequence?
No, I think it's the first. I think it's automated. It's a
Cool.
Zapier thing where it says they bought this, enroll them in this. Yeah, I'd rather not take them to Circle to purchase a membership on Circle. Like, it should just.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm not saying that. There's
right. That was a separate thought, but
yeah.
Yeah, I think just keeping it all kind of in the same thing. Like, oh, we did that for you. You're already enrolled. Just click here to go fill out your profile, kind of thing.
And will they get that video as well on top of the community, or will it be a separate?
Yeah, it includes the Notion dashboard that has the videos in it.
Okay.
So they get
watch
both.
this video. Okay. So these are their manual steps. And that's pretty much it. There's no additional actions that you want them to take after the fact other than community engagement.
Yeah, engage in the community, come to the event, because they're with membership in the community. I switched it just a few months ago to a lifetime thing, mainly because my life is not consistent. Like I went away for 2 months to produce a movie last year, and the community suffered. So I went back and said, sorry, everybody, I'm going to make this lifetime. You never have to pay another $1. And then I can just, I can increase the price every 50 people or 100 people or whatever. But then they get free tickets to my events every year as part of the community deal. So that would be, it's not really an upsell. It's more just engagement.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the DIY or done for you. I'm wondering if an upsell, walk me through, what are the price points? The B plus V is what?
Yeah, so that's going to be like 150 or 197. I'm probably going to start at 150.
Okay.
Seems like everyone and their mom is pricing things at 150 now. So
yeah, it seems like an easy number.
Feels like the right price point. I think 97's cheapening it. It's 12 hours of video from the event, like as if they were there. It's essentially replacing the idea of get the replays, which nobody ever buys. Like I don't know anyone that buys replays for an event that they didn't go to, So like, okay, post event, hey, and you get, it's like you were there and you can go at your own pace. You don't have to do it in 3 days, 6-8 hours a day. So 150 for that. Right now, the community lifetime membership's $495.
Okay.
And I think it'll go up, 100, 200 every 100 people or whatever. I'm gonna not ever cap it. I'll just, if it ever gets noisy or crazy, then I'll just raise the price. It's like, I think we're getting a lot of low quality people in here. Let's bump it to $795 and see what that does.
See what it does. Okay. Yeah, I think. Okay. So, and I'm just talking through this, but I think having a landing page with these 3 cells going from 150 to 15,000 is a massive jump that I don't think you're going to necessarily easily convert someone from a redirect.
Yeah, so the idea is I won't even post the 15,000 on the.
Oh, you don't want it on that?
No, okay. It's very much a qualified offer. If you are around 7 figures a year, have 4 to 6 employees, and are not profitable, hop on a call. And that's a $500 strategy call that gets applied to the 15K if they choose to move forward. Otherwise, they got a 90-minute strategy call for what I normally charge.
Yeah.
So we could put, but I wouldn't even do that. I would just have the 500 be on the next page when they go to book it.
Yeah.
But I do think I still want that option presented in that scenario where it's like, maybe I flagged them wrong and they really want the done for you version. And they didn't get caught in the scorecard algorithm of, they should be presented this offer. If someone wants to pay me, I'm not going to say no.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering is instead of selling the done for you, you sell the strategy call instead. And so here, the option is, hey, let's talk through this together, right? And you can have it here because in my mind, if I'm looking at 3 pricing tables and I see 150, 495, and 500, I'm going to look at those 2 and be like, well, what, you know what I mean? I could spend the same amount of money either doing it by myself or actually getting the help that I need. Because then I feel like the upsell, the strategy call could go into those welcome sequences for both of them too. And then based on the conversation you have in the strategy call, you follow up and say, hey, I could actually just do this for you. Here's the proposal. And it could be a universal sales deck, right? It doesn't have to be this massive pitch that you follow up after and say, I think you'd be a great fit for this. If this works, awesome. If not, you got strategy out of it.
Yeah, I actually do that in the calls. I do that on the strategy calls where if it's very clear that they need, it's not they need a mindset shift. They don't need just like one little bit of thing. They don't need a breakthrough or an unlock. They need they have a business that's built improperly for the goals that they're trying to get, which is profitable. They have 6 creatives on the team with no management, no sales, no marketing, no operations. It's just a bunch of creatives trying to do more and more and more art. It's like, well, that's not how you grow your business profitably.
Right.
You
Right.
need people running these things. And in the interim, while they're hiring, because I say you don't necessarily need to let go of some of these people, but you need to hire this and this and this.
Right.
And while you do that, I'm going to come in and build the system so they're up and running by the time those new hires come in. So they're not building the systems; it's already exists, which makes it easier to hire people, because if you're trying to hire someone to come into your business and build the systems for you, they're not $60K a year. They charge a lot more because they're building it from scratch. So that's part of the pitch is let's save you $100,000 by just let me do this for you in 2 months, because I and my team can come in and do that really quickly. And it's proven. We have systems that just can be implemented, and then take it from there. And then we have, the offer for clients is, $1,000 a month, not really retainer, but it's their own private part of the community, which is for all of the other 6 and 7 figure business owners who have different problems than the independent creators do, and monthly breakthrough calls. And we do a lot of the tracking and analytics for them and give them reports. Instead of expecting artists to go look at spreadsheets, we just say, hey, here's an email with how things are going. And you should focus on this next month.
Right. Now, what if somebody bought the $150 version and decide that they want a strategy call?
Yeah,
are you going to allow them to do that?
Yeah, I think that's in the dashboard somewhere. Like the way I see the dashboard is kind of like, we'll get to it, but high level goals for the year, high level goals for the quarter. Here's your dashboard of action items and how to get there. And then at the bottom, it's like the footer links, right? It's if you need help, book a strategy call. If you want, that one includes the video training. So it really would be a strategy call. That would be on the call to action on there. Like anytime you get stuck, you can either come to the community and ask questions anytime you want, or hop on a strategy call. So those 2 would be at the bottom of the dashboard.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm wondering if we should even have that strategy call on that sales page, and instead just upsell it in the sequence and in the actual dashboard, and just focus on these. I'm looking at my screen. I'm like, why isn't the mouse moving? I realize that it's your screen. But looking at, the 150 versus the 495, just having those 2 options, and the strategy call upsell is either baked in at checkout to say, hey, also you can get a strategy call for 500, and or it's in the welcome sequence, and or it's in the dashboard, and we just focus on these 2. Because I think, because again, the strategy call, that's the upsell on its own, right? Like it's like, okay, well, if I buy that, what do I get from this? Do I get the dashboard? Do I, so
I hear you. And I think that works for most of the audience. I definitely will have, if the scorecard says, oh, this person's making $850 a year and has 4 employees, really they don't have time. I can guarantee with 99% accuracy, they don't have time to go through this dashboard on their own. That's not what they're looking to do. They need a savior. They need someone to come in and fix it for them, because they have 6 people, only made $850 a year. That's like $140,000 a person, and they're paying an average of $75K a year. They don't make enough money. They're losing money at $850 a year. They need someone to come fix it ASAP, or else they're going to go out of business. So they're not looking for a do it yourself or a done with you offer. They're looking for a do it for me offer.
Yes.
So that might just be a completely separate funnel, where it's the scorecard flags them as, consulting offer, and they completely divert away from the dashboard and go straight to strategy call.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to. Oh, I did these backwards. I think that would be the way to do it, because then in the strategy call, you can kind of customize it just a little bit more. the dashboard, and you can kind of pre-fill it out for them. So let's do this. So they don't buy the strategy call, or they do. If they don't buy it, then they just automatically receive the welcome sequence. If they do buy it, they come over here to cal.com book call.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go back into the sequence for the redirect. But then either one comes here and they watch this one would be, Jesus. I am clicking too fast this morning. Okay. So if they don't book the strategy call, immediately watch the video, use the dash. If they do book the call, then they come here and attend call, and then attend call, then they go into the dash. And yeah, and like you said, maybe they don't even need to watch the video, because you can go over that with them. There we go. Cool.
Lovely.
Okay. We are rocking and rolling. Okay. So then basically same thing here. So let me just copy a good chunk of this. Okay. So if they do the community, they're either going to buy the strategy call, or they are just going to, the no strat call is going to be this original form. So the circle invite, they go here, and then, okay. So they just get the welcome sequence, go into circle invite. They join circle, watch the video, attend the community events. But if they buy the strategy call, then they're going to book the call, then go into the welcome sequence that way. And then we want them to attend the call. Okay. And then actually, we can just delete all of that, because attend the call. Do you want them to join circle before they're on the call with you, or after?
So that brings up another interesting part. So right now I offer a 30-minute, it's not really a strategy call. It's more of a welcome call to anyone who gets into the community. And so,
okay.
I don't know if I would, I'm curious to your thoughts. Should I keep that, or should I not? Because it's kind of conflicting with the strategy call. They're like, well, I'm already getting a 30-minute call. Why would I pay for a 90-minute call? But really, the welcome call is not a strategy call. It's me understanding who they are, what their goals are. I'm kind of taking some notes on, okay, this person wants to launch a course this year. Great. And then every time I comment on their posts, I know it's within that context. But it's really a welcome, get to know you. Thanks for being here. If you have any questions, and start here. This is what, a start here kind of thing. Start with the dashboard. Like, go in there, use it. When you get stuck, that's when you go into the community and ask questions, and other people can help you out. So it's more of a welcome call. Maybe it's as simple as just calling it a 15 or 20 or 30-minute welcome call instead of a strategy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I do, honestly, is people, because I have a very similar upsell where if you buy my strategy, you get an annual 90-minute call from me that we literally do this together, and we say, what are your gaps? What's not working? But if you don't buy that, I still do a welcome call with people. It's 20 minutes. And it's more so for me to literally get data on who's in my community, right? Like, I'll answer a couple of questions, but it's more like, hey, what's your business about? How can I support you? Do you have any questions about navigating the content, stuff like that? So I would say for the time being, keep it. But if this grows the way you're envisioning it and you don't have the capacity, you could take that free call away. Right. And maybe make it like a group, like once a month in Circle, just do like a group chat where it's like everyone brings a cup of coffee and you get on, what are they're called rooms in
Yeah.
Circle, and you just do like a
Yeah, I
monthly
like
call
that. A
with people.
welcome new members every month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at some point this year, like pending that all this works according to plan, like I will definitely hire a community manager this year to like
Yeah.
do the welcome calls, do all, because it's not about strategy. It's not about me. It's about making sure that they have some personalized onboarding and some welcome to the thing and answer questions. And that would be a community manager task for sure.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, especially when it's more just like basic questions, and basic understanding. Now, one thing that we did not necessarily talk about, but we kind of touched on it at the very beginning, is this idea of the 30 questions within a scorecard. So, assuming that is going to, well, let me ask you, where does that pop up? Because if you're doing like a CTA ribbon or a pop-up just for them to enter their email, where does the questions come into play? Is that after the free one going into these
No,
leads?
you answer the questions to get the dashboard. So it's in front.
So it's before the pop-up.
It is the pop-up. It's, hey, answer
Or
these,
right.
get your
Okay.
dashboard by answering these questions. It's kind of one connected offer. The path to the dashboard, since it's free, even though it's incredibly valuable, is you're just going to answer a couple of questions. But that way, like I'm okay with. I'm not trying to build a 100,000 person email list that I could sell ads to. Like that's not my business model. So I'm totally okay with having a much lower number of leads per month, but having really high quality leads that came through a scorecard in order to get a free dashboard, because I know that they really want that thing.
Yeah. Well, I want to push back a little bit on you. I think 30 questions is a lot
It is.
for free and or paid. I would push to, sorry, Diesel's like choking in the background. I would say, I don't know if you know who Neil Patel is, but he has a very successful, I think it's like 6 question or 10 question lead magnet on his site that he's done like over 100,000 like leads through it. I found him because what was I YouTubing? I was looking up like how to build an effective lead magnet quiz or something, and he did like an entire breakdown of the psychology of why he asked the questions he did, but also the way he asked them. And so maybe take a look at his stuff and streamlining that down a little bit. Because I know, like, if I'm like, oh, I want this free thing, and then I'm going through 30 questions, I'm going to exit it, right? And you might lose people because they just don't have the time.
Right.
So, okay. So just to recap, can you zoom out just a little bit on your screen for me? So you just see the whole workflow. Perfect. Okay, so for those who are tuning in, because I am I'm kind of watching everybody engaging on Twitter, X, all that good stuff, and on YouTube. So for those who are tuning in, just as a first hour kind of rundown, Daren and I are working through his workflows for his Blockbuster Business Blueprint B cubed offer. And so he's got his initial entry point, which is the free version. It's going to be a CTA kind of embedded in a blog and or a pop-up on his site and or we have a questionnaire quiz that once you submit that, you will get your customized, so to speak, semi-custom dashboard. That is going to then redirect to an upsell page which has, let me push this off to the side, 2 different offers. So the first is going to be the dashboard plus a basic video. So that will have just general user DIY version of everything, but it is going to have an upsell to a strategy call. So as you can see kind of under the first funnel here, we've got a funnel for either booking a strategy call or not booking a call, what happens there, right? We're going to be adding them to a welcome sequence, upselling them to join the community, or if they book that strategy call, automatically being redirected to Cal to get that booked ASAP, attending the call, and then obviously interacting with the dashboard. But our final kind of top tier for him is going to be the Blueprint plus community at $495 lifetime. And from there, it's also going to have upsells. So either they buy the strategy call or they don't. Either one, we love options. And same thing, the only difference here with the workflow automation is we are adding in that circle invite for them to join the community. So as you guys can see, as we're kind of mapping this out, it's very easy to look at your workflow when you visualize it, right? So if you just are tuning in, I would definitely recommend kind of hitting that back button and watching how I talked Daren through, okay, what next? If they do this, what happens? If they don't do this, what happens? And so you always want to be asking yourself, what's the phrase? Oh my gosh, guys, coffee. If this, then that, right?
Yeah.
And you should never have another step. You should be working through your entire workflow until there are no steps left. So even if you remember here on kind of the first upsell, so what if they don't upsell to the community? What happens, right? So I asked Daren that, what happens? Well, they just stay on the newsletter. It's a dead end. There's no other action for them to take. But if they join the community, then they kind of go through, which we forgot the arrow here, getting that circle invite, right? So we always want to be asking ourselves, is there another step to take? Is there another thing that somebody should be doing to complete this action? So very simple to do. Start from A, work your way down, whether it's letter M, letter Z, and always be looking at it from the customer side. But also, as you guys can see, we also worked through the automation. So when somebody joins, what does Daren have to do? As you guys could see, there are no manual actions here for him to take, except for, and we didn't really add them in, but we're going to now, is that he needs to attend the welcome calls. And that is really the only and the strategy call. That is literally the only manual action that he has to take. So this entire workflow is completely automated to the sense that all he has to do is market this. And that honestly, when we're looking at passive income, when we are building out digital products, this should be your goal, to have less than 5 manual steps or actions rather that you should be taking with any sale that you have. So I'm going to add these in so you have them. So attend the welcome call, and we have that there. Do you have any questions while we're kind of in the middle and before we move on to Notion?
Are you asking me or asking your audience?
Asking you. Asking.
No, it's so clear. And then I want to just emphasize that it's all of this is great. And I feel really good that there's one manual step. That's how it was meant to be built. But I've spent 2 years building all this out, two and a half almost, but really 2 years. Like August 2021 is when I started this whole creator business thing. And you can build till the cows come home, but none of it matters if you don't have marketing in front of it. If you don't have a consistent source of leads, everything else is downstream from leads. So this might be a perfectly optimized system, but right now I maybe have 2 people a month going through it. And that's the downfall of me, as I'm an operator, I'm a builder. So this year, when we said at the very beginning, I'm not building anymore, I'm only doing marketing in 2024, it's because I've already built it. I don't need to build any more stuff. It's like, how do I get 10 a month, then 100 a month, then 1,000 a month coming through this funnel? And I hate the term funnel. It feels gross and forced. But
it is a funnel though.
Yeah. How do I pull people through this to where I'm helping give more value to more people? It's the only answer is marketing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I think, with your goal too, and this is for anybody watching at the same time, one thing we kind of talked about that is a really nice bonus to this is it fits all of your offers, right? So as you are building out your content and your strategy kind of around your CTAs, all you need is one CTA, right? You're not sitting here going, okay, well, what am I going to sell in this video? What am I going to sell in this video? And that was something that I struggled with for a very long time, kind of balancing, and I talk about this a lot, but balancing clients and creatorship, right? Like, at what point is too much, and you are struggling to say, okay, what am I selling at this point, right? Am I going to sell this template in this video? Am I going to talk about this offer in this video? But for you, because this is so clear, every single thing you do, you say, hey, if you want my expertise, all you have to do is download this thing, and that works for you. I know you're on Ghost, but I just want to do a really quick plug to Squarespace really fast. So, because a lot of my audience uses Squarespace. So, Will Myers, as you guys know, he is a very well-known Squarespace kind of plugin builder. He's been a Squarespace creator for a very long time. He came out with this plugin called the Section Loader. And what you can do is basically build one page and embed it anywhere that you want. So that's what I do with my lead magnets. Is in my blog, I have just a section loader added. So anytime I want to change my lead magnet, I just have to change the section plugin, and it updates across all of my blog posts. So if you guys are kind of following this and going, oh, I want one lead magnet, how do I recreate this? I don't use ConvertKit. I don't use Score app. I don't use Ghost like Daren does. That's also an option for you, is to go grab that plugin from Will if you're on Squarespace. Hey, Carrie, just want to say hi. I don't know when your note came in, but Carrie's tuning in from LinkedIn. I've known her for a very long time. She's a great friend. Okay, so next that we want to do is get into Notion and start working through what these different dashboards look like. And if you guys watched my live video, when did I do the live? I guess it was like a week or two before Christmas. I did an entire live about how to build, launch, and sell Notion templates. So I would definitely go back and watch that. I cut it down so it's a shorter version if you don't want to watch the live stream, me doing it live. But one thing that I recommend in launching Notion templates is to build kind of a knowledge page. So when someone's coming in, if they're brand new to Notion, how do you duplicate this page? What's expected? And if you guys are also tuning in, you know that I'm having screen sharing issues. So Daren, I'm going to put a link in our private chat for my financial tracker, so you can screen share and show people exactly what I'm talking about for a visual. Okay.
You mean this one that I downloaded like 2 weeks ago?
Sure.
I haven't dived into it yet, but
all good. I'm not stressed about it.
You should see that on the website.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So this is an example page of what I recommend that everybody does when they build it out. And so Daren, for you too, feel free to steal this. I tell everyone, steal like an artist, right? Take the structure, whatever you need. But as you can see at the top, it's, hey, thanks for downloading this. Here's how you duplicate. Because a lot of people, if they're not logged into Notion or have an account, they're like, I don't know what to do, right? And then if you have questions, click here to email me. Then you have that template overview. So I do a pretty in-depth video of, hey, this is how you interact with this template. This is what you use. So in your case, your video could go here. Then I personally add in value adds of what properties am I using for the template. So if there's formulas, if there's roll-ups, and then I also build out any automations or integrations, which you may or may not need. And then you actually get into the versions. So for you, this might not be as pertinent because you're probably not going to show people the different versions that there are, but maybe you want to. So down at the bottom under duplicate, if you could just scroll down, you'll see. So I have 3 versions of my financial tracker template. So it's, if you're only doing projects, duplicate these pages. If you're only doing sales, duplicate these. But if you have everything, duplicate all of these. So as you're kind of going through and getting customer feedback on the blueprint, you may want to kind of mold what you're doing on this Knowledge Hub page. So this would be the page that people download, not just the database, because if you edit the database or anything, the links might break. You never know if you change the title. And so this is a great way to kind of kick off your template. So I don't know if you've already created this. I know you added me to just a database. So I don't know if there's more that I need access to on your site.
I don't think so. Where did it go?
Okay.
Uh-oh. Blockbuster business. You're talking about this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all there is for now.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I would recommend kind of backtracking once you get into building this and create a starting page and then make this a page on that, if that makes sense as a sub page. Okay. So why don't you walk me through? I'm going to take some notes. Let me grab a little notebook. Notion sent me merch for Christmas, and I got this really nice Moleskine journal from them. So I'm going to use it today. I'm very excited. Okay. So walk me through what is the intention with this database? Do you want it to be a more page, or do you want it straight database, no other context?
No, I think more of a page. But I do like, that was the piece that I hadn't connected, of like having a page first that they reach and then they click to which one they should get. For me, it's probably going to be a single download or a single link. There's not going to be multiple versions of it, I don't think. Yeah, because we wouldn't want to put the free version and the video version on the same page, because they'd have access to both. So it would be two separate landing pages based on which version they bought, whether it's the free download or the paid version. But basically, like, if you're thinking of, okay, I'm an independent creator, I made 40 grand this year, I would like to make 100 personally this year, which means my business needs to make like 150. How am I going to do that? Well, this is a roadmap of sorts. And so what you're looking at now is very basic. I just like dumped a whole bunch of ideas of like, oh, I think it kind of looks like a Kanban board, and there's 10 or 15 different steps that follow the movie framework. So you can see on the side, it's like mindset, outcomes, visibility, implement. Oh, and then I need to add my expand. So that's the E in movie, expand your impact.
Gotcha.
And so each one of these is an action step that you're only really allowed to work on one at a time. You can have a single focus at any point, and there's like 3 columns. It could be like, here's what you need to do, here's what you're working on right now, and here's what's kind of, you've built it, but now it's in the optimize and maximize stage. It's you're paying attention to it, you're tracking it, you're paying attention to the outcomes that system you built is generating. Some of them, as far as like mindset and stuff, it might be like, oh, I got that. I watched the video. I understand that mindset shift, and I'm just gonna remind myself every day or something like that. So that's the gist of it. It basically, like, if you think of you got a pile of Legos on the floor, and at the end you want to have one of these, like, the
DeLorean.
How are you going to do that? Well, you need the instruction manual. So I want this to basically play like an instruction manual that also has videos embedded in each one of these cards that says, oh, here's what I'm talking about when I say, create your dream offer. What? Right. That's not an action item. That's a thing I know I need to do.
It's just a wish.
Once you get into each one of these cards, and I haven't done any of this part yet, but these cards should really be built out. Like, there's a video, and here's some diagrams, and here's some questions and the work section and stuff like that, like to-dos. Check these things off, so that while it's in progress, you're working on the in progress one, and you're going through the to-dos, and it's all built out. And then once it's complete, you move it over to the complete row, and then you go to the next one. And it really should be done in order from top to bottom. If you're like me, you've done a lot of the implementing systems and you haven't done any of the visibility stuff. So, it might be like that. But it really should look like, oh, here's step 1, step 2, step 3. I'm going to do them in order. And then, I think a bulk of it is in the cards for each one. And then underneath all of that is probably where we would have the call to action of like, you want help, grab a strategy call. You want to do it with the community, hop into the community. That's where the upsells would live. I don't know that it needs too much other shoe leather besides here it is. Like, you're going to live in this. You're going to come in once a week and think about what am I working on this week to build my business.
Yeah. I have Max just commented on YouTube. Sarah and Daren, what a way to start the year. We love you, Max, so much. Okay, I have several thoughts, several questions, but to backtrack first, remind me, what does the E stand for?
E is expand.
Expand.
Let me create one real quick.
Okay. I have I'm writing them down just so I don't miss them. How many expands are there? Just
at least 5.
Oh, okay. Cool.
For now, because I have the expand follow the process of like an independent film. So you have development, financing, pre-production, production, post-production, and distribution. I think it would just be production from pre to post, and then there's 4 or 5 in there.
Okay.
And it's really, how do you expand your profitability, because profit equals permission. And like I said earlier, what we all want as creators is the permission to create whatever we want and make a living doing it. And so I'm really positioning the business as like championing independent creators, and the big bad guys are like the studios. If you look at the studio indie film world, that's what I live in. Like, studios last year caused 2 strikes to happen. That hadn't happened in like 65 years or something like that.
Yeah.
The studios caused that. We went and made a movie during the strike, and we employed people who were out of work because the strike was happening. So that's the permission you're able to give yourself. I should point it this way. As an independent, is you give yourself permission to go and do the creative work you want to do. And you can do more if you are profitable. And so expand is all about expanding your profit, so you can expand your permission and expand your impact.
I love it. Okay. I have 2. How do I want to tackle this? Because I have 2 ideas.
Yeah.
The first being that, do we want, sorry, I'm trying to like figure out how I want to word this so it makes sense. So we could have all of these cards available at all time to interact with, to learn from. But I think one specific thing that you mentioned was that they need to be done one at a time. And so I'm wondering if, instead of all the cards being visible, and this will make sense in a second, they start with a workbook or, a Notion doc that explains each of the letters and kind of a general breakdown, right? Because even if it's a video, we still want a written out version, right? Because we have different learners in different ways. And then from here, the first thing that shows that's created when they duplicate it is 6 human need mindsets. And so what would happen is they have to click complete or, move it, right, as the status. And then using Notion automations, it automatically creates the next card. So they're kind of forced to go one by one, rather than saying, oh, I feel like learning about dream life today. And then next week it's like, oh, automated outreach sounds great, right? And so we could do it that way, and kind of interact. And I think this is also where more of a page rather than just the database will also come in handy, because then they can constantly be referencing.
Yeah.
Now, my only fear here with this is, how am I going to remember to use this all the time? right? And so I think the next level of this, and this is something for those of you watching, if you didn't watch my How to Build a Notion template, I'm always thinking about the added value. So for you, you kind of mentioned like, oh, there's these tasks that they have to do. Well, what if they don't have a task database in Notion? Are they going to remember to do the tasks? So could we also link in a task database that they're going to use every day and interact with that adds these in here? So those are things that I want us to kind of think about and work through. But how does that initial kind of feel to you? Is we only show one card at a time that they are constantly interacting
Yeah,
with?
I love that. I didn't know you could do that, so that's amazing.
Oh, okay,
I'd
cool.
love to. I'm not sure how many people are watching, but I would love to get an A or B poll going real quick of like, would you rather see it A, all at once and you get to kind of choose your own adventure, or would you rather have it B, be given to you one step at a time in order, knowing that some weeks will be like, oh, I already done that, so it's like you watch through it and it quickly goes to completed and it opens the next one. There may be sometimes where that happens. So I'd love to know with the audience, what do you think, A or B?
Yeah. And definitely we are a little delayed, so it might be a little bit until the answers come in. But I don't know. I think it really depends on personal, I don't want to say restraint, right? But how can we really hold people accountable to following the blueprint when they're on the DIY version? And I think that we kind of tackle both with with one design. But I look at this and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many things I have to do. And so I'm also wondering if we look at what completion success rate looks like for this. How do we minimize the overwhelm of someone coming in?
Yeah.
And it could be maybe and this is option C, right? An ABC test is maybe we only show all mindset. And then when all of mindset's completed, then it opens up O, then it opens up V.
Yeah.
So that's kind of maybe like a middle ground to look at too of how we interact with this as well.
Yeah, because what really this is replacing is the idea of a course, right? It's a more interactive, self-paced version of a course, which I think is cool. I mean, I started Craftsman Creative with courses and built a 6-figure business doing courses. And it's like great, but everybody knows what those are. For me, this is more interactive and there's added benefits to a course. So I'm never going to call it a course. I want to call it a blueprint or a dashboard or whatever.
Right.
I love the idea of C, where it's like, okay, I'm in mindset mode for the next 6 days, weeks, however long it takes them to get through it. And the idea of I can't see the next part until these are all complete, I think is really important. It holds them accountable. I mean, obviously they can game the system and just like mark it all completed, but why would you do that?
Right.
So I love that option of here, the idea of you're going to build something that's got 8,000 pieces. Yeah, there's a big manual and and you open it up and you start on page 1 and you work your way through it. Is it daunting? Maybe. I know it's going to, this freaking Ecto 1 took 8 hours to build. That's a massive build. So that's really what we're talking about with our businesses is like, this isn't this week. You're not going to have a profitable business in a weekend. This is your dashboard for the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, depending on how far along you already are. But by the end of the year, if you go from negative profit to 10% profit, if you've got $1 million business, that's $100,000 of permission. Like I know a lot of video production companies that would love to have $100,000 to put into their own project next year. That's a lot of permission, right? Or that's a new hire, or that's whatever. So same with creators, having $10,000 at the end of the year or $15,000 at the end of the year is a trip with your family or a month off or whatever you want it to be. That's massive permission. So sorry, I go on rants.
No, I love it. I love it. And everybody, and it's a nice reminder, it's a nice reminder that at the end of the day, we are choosing to own our own businesses. We're choosing to be creative, to be a freelancer, whatever title you guys want to use, right? Like I call people badass CEOs. Some people don't like that. They're like, oh, I'm not a CEO. I'm a one woman show, right? But I think remembering that we can literally build whatever business we want, right? We're not beholden to one client or one stream of income. You guys know I'm the queen of the pivots, right? If something's not working and you see an opportunity elsewhere, take it, right? And that's, I think, where kind of this like expand and permission comes from is you have to start by giving yourself your own permission, but also understanding how to do the work to get there, right? Okay, so what I think we should do is take a back step. So if you could create a blank page for me, that we can that and then add me to it, so I can create kind of a starting page, and then we'll create a linked view, and we'll go from there. And I'll teach you how to do the automations.
Is this
You
work
guys can do
here?
that.
Just the new tab? Or
Oh,
do I need to go in and
yes, try
add a
that.
page?
So Notion has some new features that I have not personally talked about because I don't know who has what right now. um, I'm kind of glad I'm not screen sharing because I have access to something that people cannot see yet. Okay, so and then, yeah, if you just want to sit on the landing page and I will start working through it.
Dang. I've never done real time collab in Notion, but that's real time. That's
Oh,
awesome.
this is going to be fun. Okay, so basically what we want to
So
do, yeah, see, there's definitely changes that are happening. I've noticed there's been a bug. So like if I, this is like a total side note, so like if I say intro to Blueprint, right, and I'm like, oh, that I want this to be a header instead. If I do turn to H3, it doesn't usually do it. Like in my account, it just creates a heading underneath. Like there's been a lot of bugs.
weird.
So bear with me, y'all, as we build this out. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so this will be the page that you share. So what I would recommend is we do Blockbuster will say free version for now. So then, as you know, when you duplicate it, like the paid version will have the video,
Right.
and so on and so forth. I still think, though, on the free version, you should do a simple intro video. It's just like, hey, here's what this means, but read through the rest of it. Hi, I'm Daren, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, especially if people aren't super familiar with you yet, because you know what? We might hit June and July and you might start running ads for this. So those are the things to think about of how we connect with people that aren't super knowledgeable of who we are and what we do. Okay, so first things first, guys, what we're going to do here is I'm just going to create a linked database view of the database we were just talking about. I personally like working this way rather than like straight in the database because it gives me room to like jot down notes or anything that I need as I go. But what we were talking about, if you're just tuning in, because I've been seeing people popping in and out, is that we're going to do kind of an A/B test, and this is also a great reason why we use the link view, because we can set up all three options, and you can kind of choose where you go and which one you decide to do. So option one is going to be just seeing the database for what it is, right? So all the cards, all here. So technically, we have that here. So I'm just going to title that all view. And I'm actually going to make this a toggle for you, and we'll work in the toggles. And then option two is going to be each letter. We'll just call it each letter at a time. And then option three, we said, is just one card at a time.
Yeah, but flip 2 and 3 because that's the order we had them earlier. Option 2 was one card at a time. Option 3 was each letter.
Yeah, you're right.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, I guess I can change it. Okay, so we are going to be using Notion automations. So what that means is here in the database, if I hover over, you see these kind of tools at the top. well, actually, I don't know why it's not in the screen share. But at the top, if you hover over them, there's a filter sort, there's a little lightning bolt, and it pops up automations. And I'm realizing it is not showing what I'm doing on the screen, which is going to be a little annoying, but we'll figure it out. So if you click the lightning bolt, oh, you know why? I don't have, can I not do them? Let me go back to here. Which Notion plan are you on?
Probably free.
That's why. Yeah, it's only available on paid plans. So I don't know if you want to pay the $8 a year or a month for Notion.
Let's fix that real quick.
Cool.
Where do I do that?
So if you go up to the top, you click your settings in the left-hand navigation. Yeah. Settings and members up at the top.
Yep. Here we go.
Yeah, you might not. Here, let me turn off your screen share while you do it.
Cool.
So nobody sees your credit card.
Plus plan, collaborative workspace, unlimited blocks. That has the automation.
Yeah, yep. Plus plan's what you want.
All right, give me 1 second. I thought I was on a paid plan at least years ago. It was like $5 a month plan.
Yeah, they upped the pricing when they released AI, which I don't personally pay for. I think ChatGPT is better, but nobody come for me in the comments on that.
All right, stand by. No, it's not pulling in the card number automatically like Safari. So.
Yeah, I left LastPass and I use Dashlane now, and I really like it because you can save the payments, all of your stuff. But even if I'm logged into Dashlane, it makes me re-log in to get access to the card numbers.
Yeah.
Bless you. Which is very, very, very annoying.
Okay, upgrade to Plus. You're being a good ambassador for Notion right now. Just made them some money.
Hey, that's okay. Oh, I should have. Well, your account was already created. I was like, damn, I should have given you my affiliate link, but you had to have not had an account yet.
Oh. It's not saying I have an unpaid invoice, which is weird. I'm looking at that. Maybe that's why it stopped. Because I didn't.
Maybe.
I did switch like all of my business accounts over to Nova last year, so I'm sure some things like this fell through the cracks. Okay, that's paid.
Yeah, you're fine.
I had $51 in past due.
Man.
Okay, that should be good to share again.
Cool. All right. Let's reopen that. Okay, so you're on the free version. Let me do a refresh on my screen. And why do I still not have automations?
Want me to quit and restart? See
if on your side you have automations. Maybe do
I
just
do, yeah. I can look
R.
here and there's automations there.
And it allows you to click new.
Yep, new automation.
Why am I not getting that then?
Let me just quit and relaunch it.
Well, I wonder, did they change it? I guess database automations can be created, edited, or deleted by anyone with full access.
Oh, do you need full access to my account for a while?
Well, you gave me full access on the page. So, I don't understand.
Yeah, it says you have full access.
Let me look at this one more time. Free plan uses of you. Database automations can be created.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to restart Notion.
Okay. Well, on your end, you're fine because you see it. I don't. So
right, but maybe their connection would help or something.
mm.
You never know. Turn it off and back on.
Oh, there you go. Can a guest why I don't know why this was in their FAQ. Can a guest with full access create automations? No. So I would need
Yeah.
I would need to be a member on that's what they need to change
I agree.
support page. That's very confusing.
Okay, so then let me go back to settings and members and really quickly add a member. Now that I have a plan, select a person, invite.
I think you have to pay for me though, which is annoying. So I'm wondering if
I invited you as a member. It didn't say anything as far as.
I think it auto. Let me
see if that works.
God, no, I don't want QA. Yeah, okay, I'm here. Yeah, I can do it now. Okay. And then if you want to re-screen share, y'all are being so patient and so nice for watching us navigate these tech issues today.
You're watching two operators
usually
problems in real time.
Right. Yeah, usually my strategy calls are straight, just like, I need the 2-factor code. I've requested the code. Okay, so if I am damn, so yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to screen share this because you're not going to see me build it.
Oh. Do you want to try screen share again, or is it still not letting you?
Yeah, it doesn't even let me click the screen share button, which is really frustrating.
Okay. I mean, how hard are the automations? Are they like, can you walk me through them, or is that like, oh,
I could. Well, let me build it, and then you can click it open.
Oh, sweet.
And then we can talk through it. That makes sense.
I like that.
Okay, so talking through the automation. So just to recap, the first thing is we're going to do one card at a time. So the first thing that we want to do is every card is going to need to be a template in the database. So what that means for anybody watching is when you hover over the database, there is a blue new button that populates or that will show. And there's a drop down arrow next to that you'll click. This is where all of your templates live for that database. So for you, Daren, as you're building these out, you will want to add the context to each of the templates rather than a card on its own.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and just create, let me open this up as a side peek so I can see. Okay, so we've got mindset, which is going to be the 6 human needs. And then, so do you see how that's starting? So then we will do, not a full page. Mindset, scarcity to abundance. Scarcity to abundance. I'm just going to do a couple of them. I'm not going to make everybody watch me type all of these. Limiting beliefs.
You guys see that live stream where Sarah just typed for 20 minutes? That was awesome.
They definitely do. And then mindset, fear to faith. Mindset, fear to faith. Love it. Okay. So if you can see all of these now. So the key here, because you are going to have multiple templates, I would recommend this empty template. Just keep that as the default. So the default basically means that every time you start a card, that's the one it's going to pull from. So in your case, you don't need a default because we're going to automatically dictate which one is the start. No one should be creating cards anyway because we're going to build that out ourselves for it to happen. So pretend that each of these have your context. They've got the overview, all of those things. What I would actually recommend, now that I'm thinking about it, is in your properties is we add in a brief description. So I'm going to go ahead and, God, I wish I could screen share. This is really bothering me. How do and I don't want to cut this stream to do it. Oh, this is so stupid. Okay, well, just imagine that you are seeing me add in a text property, and we're going to call it a brief description. And why I'm going to do this is because then on the front of the card, we are going to edit the properties and show that brief description for here. So under the 6 mindsets, we'll just say test description. So now people can have some context when they are just looking at the cards in the Kanban. And let me see. Is it not showing for you, or is your screen share? Can you do a refresh really fast?
The Notion page, or?
Yeah, just the page in general. Just do like a Command-Shift-R refresh. I guess that is not a live edit version.
It was
How
earlier.
strange. Yeah, but do you see you're not seeing the properties? I wonder if it's because... Oh, I'm a dummy. I'm dumb. Hold on. I was on the real one. Okay. Now do you... Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now you see that there's context here on the cards, which I think would be super helpful. So just do like a 1 to 2 sentence little description so people can see what is the 6 human needs. What is that description for each of those? So now what we want to do is on, and this is actually the all view. I'm going to make this all cards. So this is our all view. And delete this. So I'm going to move this into our option one, because basically that's done, right? Yeah. So all of our cards are here. They are in order. So those are good. And then obviously on the page that you are building out, you would explain, you'll move the first card, keep them in order, move them to complete, drop down, etc. So now I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this, and we're going to move it to option 2. And so now we have those original. Let me keep those here so I can see them. Actually, okay, I don't want to delete this. So what we're going to do is we need to start a full new database in line. We'll say Blueprint option 2, because what we'll need to do... So the other thing for those of you watching is that currently, at the time of recording this, you cannot take a card that exists and turn it into a template. You have to start from scratch. So that's why I'm creating a brand new database, because we're going to delete all the cards, and I'm going to show you how to use the automations to then create one at a time. So let me go ahead and we're going to turn this into a board, and we'll just call this option 2, 1 at a time. Okay, we're going to delete this and hide that, and we'll say to do... Oh, and you know what? You use statuses. I don't actually use the status feature, which I know might come as a shock to people. I think it's trash, but I digress. Okay, so we'll do that. So now we need a status property. Okay. And then we will group this by status. Okay. So now we have the inset done, which you can see perfect. Okay. So what we want to do is now create new templates here. So what's the second one? Mindset, scarcity to abundance. Scarcity to abundance. Okay. So this option, the automations are going to be excruciatingly long, just so everybody knows, because it's going to need to trigger each one as it's completed. For this video, what's the next one? Limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. So in this video, y'all, in this live stream, I'm just going to, for time, I'm just going to do the automation for 2 cards, and then just so you know, off of camera, we'll go in and finish all of the automations just so I don't bore everybody. And then we'll move into the third one.
So a quick question for you. The cards that exist already, do those need to be replaced with new cards that are attached to the templates? Am I even asking that question wrong?
Yes. No, that's right. Yeah. So all the cards that are there, like I did in the first one, for the templates, we'll have to create one for every single entry.
Okay.
So all
You
the
already
O's,
did
all
this
the
with the
all the
mindset one,
I's.
the 6 human needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So let me human needs. Okay. And then we'll just personally keep them in order for our brain. Okay, so the automation. So I'm going to talk through this, and then once I hit done, Daren will screen share. If you guys are just tuning in, I can't screen share for whatever reason. So we will call this automation one. We'll do one at a time. So on the automation, you'll click new, create, and then our trigger is, and actually, you know what? I'll walk you through this so you can do it. So that way people know. So you'll do create new automation.
Okay.
And then you can just name it one at a time. The name really doesn't matter in this instance. So then your trigger is going to be when the status is done. So you'll go to status and then uncheck everything and then click done. Then click done again. That's going to be your trigger point. So when a status is set to complete, then you are going to add a page to, it'll be blueprint option 2. Yep. So add page, blueprint option 2. And then the name is going to be, oh, sorry. Under blueprint option 2, do you see where it says as empty?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll click that and it'll be the next page. So it'll be scarcity to abundance. And then from there, you'll want to edit a property and the status will be in progress. And then that's it. And then you'll click create. So now, and then you can just close out of that. You can just hit the X to close automations. So now if you move mindset 6 human needs to done, it'll be a little bit delayed, but it should create the next card. There you go.
Nice.
So now every time we complete one card, the next card starts. So this is just option 2 of them. So basically option 3 of creating each of the cards at a time, it'll be the same thing, except we'll create multiple pages instead of just the one.
Gotcha. So do I need a different automation for each card to pop up?
Yeah. So we'll need to create one automation for every single one. Gotcha. So when it's complete, we will create that. And let me actually sit here and edit it on my side.
The question on this one then is set status to complete. Does that mean if any card gets moved to complete that it
No, we need to add in the filter. Gotcha. So let me do it on my side. I like to just test them first to just make sure that it works. So I'm going to create a new one on my end. I just wanted people to be able to see.
Yeah, that's
so we will say this done and edit. Wait, hold on. All right. Feel free to take a coffee break while I maneuver this. Okay. Pages edited. I always get not confused, but where I do the filter at. So add the trigger when the name, we want to edit here. Okay, so yes, okay. That's what we need to do. So when the status is completed, done, we're going to edit the page. And I'm going to save this one so you can then screen share. And what's the first one? We'll just say contains human because that should work for that. And then we want to update page, add page to scarcity in progress. Okay. Wait a second. Add. Hold on. When the status is clicked as complete, no, it needs to be trigger when the page. I think we need to do when the page is edited. Name is edited, and then we do add page here. Any page that matches human contains human, then do this. Add page to the blueprint. Okay, I'm going to add, let me see, as scarcity and abundance, and the status is going to move to in progress. Okay. So I want it to be when the status is marked done. Okay. When the status is set to complete, if it matches this, okay. So we are going to do this. Okay, I'm going to test this one time. So I'm going to delete this one. So when it's marked done, we want to set it to done. Okay. All right. So if you want to go ahead and open up my automation, I just left it as like Sarah Loretta's automation. Show one more. There you go. So if you click on this, so what we want to add in here is when the status is set to complete, we want to update the page with this title. So if you see, it says that match one filter. If you click one filter, I put in human. You can put the whole name of the card in there so it knows that. Then it's going to reset the status as done, and then it's going to create the page. So basically what we'll want to do for this option of creating one card at a time is do this for every single card, which is going to be a lot. It's a lot of upkeep because you can't currently, at the time of doing this, you cannot actually duplicate any automation, which is incredibly infuriating. So usually what I do is I just have this open in like a split screen so I can just like watch what I did and then create them.
Gotcha.
So that's the first thing.
So this happened twice because it had both automations running, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you'll want to delete yours. So just click the 3, yep, and then delete it.
Okay.
So option 2, that's done. Now what we'll want to do is I'm going to duplicate this standalone database that I just did, and we'll call it option 3, and delete those cards. And what we're saying, this is like a letter grouping. So we'll do all the letters at a time. So now let me close this down. Oh, I need to see all those. We will close this out. Do I have? They're all linked in there. Okay, hold on. I'll delete that link. I'll just put this there. Okay. So now we can hide option 2. All right. So we'll call this letter grouping. Okay, so we still have the templates here. Did I get how many mindsets? Okay, fear to faith is the last one. So let me go ahead and create this. Fear to faith. All right, so what's the first, if you could just like word drop, what's the first O?
Outcomes, dream life.
Dream life, okay. All right. And then what is the next one?
Outcomes dash dream business.
Dream business, okay. And then the next one?
Dream offer.
Oh, dream offer?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other ones?
Nope, that's it for outcomes.
Okay. So now this automation is going to be basically, let me walk through this. So we want it, what's the third one on mindset?
The third one on mindset is limiting beliefs.
Okay.
And then there's fear to faith after that one.
Well, what's the last M that they would do? Is it fear to faith?
Yeah.
Fear to faith. Okay. Mindset, and we're going to make this one that it's exact words, just in case that there's any other word, that you're kind of using words more than one at a time.
Yeah.
So when that one's done, we are going to add the first page, which is going to be outcomes dream life. We are going to add the next page, same thing, option, and as dream business. We're going to set that as in progress. And then we are going to add another page, and that is dream offer. Do you want dream business or dream business comes first, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, perfect. So now let's just do a check on this. We're going to save that. And fear to faith, that's not started. Perfect. So we're going to move this to done. And if I am as smart as I pretend to be, there we go. So now you can see all 3 got created.
Awesome.
With the last one being done.
So I would say if we can tweak that to where outcomes dream business and outcomes dream life are moved to not started.
Yeah, we can totally do that. I just want to, let me make sure that okay, hold on. I need to edit the automation. Okay, so we want dream life to be in progress. Oh, I need to change that filter. Hold on. Okay. Let me delete all of these so I can. Okay, so dream life is in progress and the rest is not started. Okay, so we're going to save that, close that out. Let's delete all these so we can test them. And fear to faith is not started to test. Move that to done. And boom.
Boom, boom.
Done.
So not that it's like if we're getting picky here, dream business would come before dream offer.
Yes. So technically it was created. Okay, so how you'll want to do that is in the automation flip them. So technically dream offer is created first, then dream business, which I'm doing for you right now. Right. So dream offer, because then it'll be listed second, which I think is stupid. Okay, let me delete these. We'll try it one more time. So fear to faith, move to done, and come on. I think it's because I already created it. Hold on. Sometimes when you're testing it, you can't move them back and forth. You actually have to start over because it technically already ran it.
Yeah.
So it gets confused. All right, so let's move this to done.
Yep.
Stream live. There you go. So then business would be first. So you kind of have to, finagle it.
Yeah.
So, and then let me just test one thing to make sure that conditional filter worked.
And are you creating cards from templates, or are you creating them from?
They're in here as templates, but it was just faster. Okay, so it's still, why is it still pulling it as is? Why did it duplicate it if it's set as is? You don't have anything else that says faith, right? Any other card that has the word faith in it?
Shouldn't, no.
Okay, let me try this one.
No, there's no other
time. Okay. Because I think because they both say mindset, I think that's why it's pulling it. So let me fear to that's not what I want. Okay, so we'll add limiting beliefs there. And then we're also going to add in fear to faith. Okay. So if I did this right, if I move limiting beliefs, it should not do anything. Yes. No. What the hell? Oh, I'm stupid. Hold on. When a name is edited. Hold on. I need to fix this trigger. I knew that I did this wrong. When not any property is edited, when the name. Yeah, but okay, now let me maybe it's this. Maybe shit. Maybe sometimes I feel like I overcomplicate these. And I'm like, why is this not working? And it's because my brain is dumb. Okay. So we've got limiting. What the fuck? Did you just run that?
No.
Oh.
No. I wouldn't dare.
When a status is done, the status is set to. Oh my god, my brain. Hold on, I need to take a brain break for a second.
Yeah.
When this. Why is this? I don't want any property edited. I want when the status is complete. Okay, do this. Page. Oh, I missed the filter. Okay, those are there. You know what? We need to I might need to add in like a hidden property so the trigger pulls not when any property is edited. I want I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. We're gonna update the status here. Let me edit your properties. I'm gonna do one test. So instead of mindset complete, so they will still move to done, but we will hide this. Okay, now let me try this and see if this works. Mindset automation. So when the status is mindset, status is mindset done, then no, fuck, that's still not gonna work. Oh, okay, hold on. I need to add a formula here. So if I do, let's add a check. Wait. Checkbox. If Okay, sorry. I'm trying to think through how to do a filtered trigger where basically if like the last card of them adds a checkbox, and if the mindset checkbox is checked. Okay, we might need to do this off camera because I don't want people just like watching me sit here in silence. But long story short, basically we need to create a filter for a specific status because you can't filter in the automation, or you can't filter a trigger in the automation, which is why every time I move one thing, the only other thing I can think of is that if we add in,
You say there's a hidden property, like it could live in the not started but be hidden from view?
yeah.
What if we just did that instead of moving things and making them appear, like creating them? What if it just, when the last mindset moves to done, then unhide the four outcomes, the three outcomes?
Yeah, we could do that too. But then it's still the same issue though. It's still the trigger.
Okay.
So because it needs to know which ones it triggers. Yeah. So like Sophia just put, I find Notion AI to be super convenient for little things for formatting, not worth going over to ChatGPT, but I'm curious how you integrate it into your Notion workflows. Oh, sorry, that's a general question. I don't actually use Notion AI. I only use Notion automations, but I don't use Q&A AI. Yeah, maybe the grouping idea just isn't going to work. I will keep playing with this off camera, but one card at a time would definitely work. We got that to work. And then all of I mean, the only other thing I could think of is if we group by the letters, like instead of the statuses, it's like, but then, yeah, they still need to. Okay, well, we have our different options. I'm trying to think. Do you really which option are you leaning towards? Let's sit with that for a
Honestly,
second.
like
So that we've kind of like worked through it.
I was hoping to get more feedback from the audience, but we got zero.
Yeah,
But
it's okay.
like my brain wants to see it all. So I would go with option one
Yeah,
and not have the automations. But between
yeah,
the two, um, I think the one card at a time makes the most sense because when
uh-huh,
I've talked with a number of people who are like ADHD, adult ADHD,
yeah,
and they're like,
yeah,
don't give me 10 things to do. Tell me what to do next. Tell me
right.
what to do now. So I would lean towards one card at a time, which we showed as the
Okay.
easier automation anyway.
Mhm.
Um, so I'd probably do that because the letter grouping doesn't really benefit. There's no extra
Yeah,
benefit for having them all pop up other than, oh, there's more to do than I thought. So
right.
I would love option two to be the one
Okay.
we go with, just
Yeah,
because I do think that that's a nice way to work. It's like, don't even distract me with the 18 other things I have to do. Just tell me what
right.
to do now, and I'm going to work on that one thing until it's done, and then I'll get the next thing. I
Mhm.
love that workflow.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting that your page is not updating because I deleted option 3 and I don't see that on your side. Maybe do a
There you
refresh real
go.
fast. There
I
you
just wasn't
go.
on that. That's weird.
Because then all we don't even need the not started
Right.
option. All you need is
Exactly.
in progress and done. Um,
Yeah.
and
And I would love,
we
how do you change
yeah,
those labels, done and in progress? What
yeah,
is that? Because I think it's
yeah,
in progress is fine. I don't know if you would call it something else, but current action or current focus, something like probably current
yeah,
focus. Um,
yeah,
and then done would, like, I don't want them to think that, oh, it's done. I don't have to think about it again.
right,
It's like
right,
tracking or optimization, or that's a word that's scary to
yeah.
creative people though. So don't use optimization. Use maybe tracking, or I don't know. Maybe it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, overthinking
So
it.
I will say I don't personally like the status field. So I don't use it, the property. So if you just click on mindset scarcity to abundance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally use it. It's very limiting. You have to have a haven't started, in progress, and completed. So what I would recommend is if you click on the word status and you click edit property, I would actually change the type to a select property instead, because then you can have the different views and you're not limited to it having to be a step 1, step 2, step 3. um, and also they make you use specific words, so it's still groups, so you can see it still shows done, in progress. So I would just click not started and you could delete that. um, yeah, and then you just click delete. And then for the done, we could say, uh, what do we want to call it? Um, maybe like step complete, or ready. No, I was going to say ready for the next card. We could do that actually if you move it to, yeah, or complete. And then um, and then in progress, you could, what we said was currently working on. So Max just added a content and he said a comment and he said, I like the idea of showing me the entire picture on the puzzle box, quote unquote, at the beginning so I can see the big picture, then give me a focused view. So that's basically what we were saying is, this is a linked view in your overall workbook that shows the breakdown of each of the letters. And then you see what your progress is for the current cards that you're working on.
Yeah. So
Um,
you're saying that it would show both option one and option two on their dashboard?
um, I wouldn't give them that. I would say, here, let me do like a mock-up. So if we're gonna go with, let's just move option 1 down here. So we'll just say like, a call out for context, right? So here's like our blueprint overview context, right? And then you have the video here, right? So you're embedding a video. And then this is maybe the next thing is blueprint framework. We'll call this getting started. Duplicate this page. So then if we do so M is for excuse me. Gosh, thank you. So if we do this, right? So if we have O is for, however you want to set this up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then here it's mindset, what's 6 human needs? And then you have the context, right? So a description here of each one. And you have your different bullets. So the next one is mindset, scarcity to abundance. I don't think that's next, but so you have the breakdowns here, right? So they know, okay, here are all of the cards that are coming up, but I only see the ones I'm actively working on below.
Gotcha.
So it'd basically be like an embedded dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
So they, so you have all of this, like this view. Why is it not updating your view live again? I don't understand. Anyway,
I like
so
that.
you could do it like this.
I think even in the video, I could be using the full, like, here's everything, but I'm specifically giving you one at a time to not overwhelm you, to make sure that you only focus on one thing at a time.
Yep.
I think it's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would even write that out, right? So like under the video, do, workbook, PDF version, right? Like transcript. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. So then people can read through, and you say, and you could do like a code here, so it stands out a little bit more. And then they would just go through. But what I would do is we would have the 6 human needs already created in the database, so it's set up as the first card.
Yeah.
And basically what you would do is just you would just have the template already here under current focus, or
and then every card has has a separate automation for completing that one and starting the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we would just need to create each one, and I would just name this, right? So this is 6 human needs. And I can do all of this off camera. Because it looks like it's missing. It might be missing a trigger, but yeah, this is how I would honestly map it out. I think that this is a great.
Yeah, I think just sticking with option 1 and not showing, sorry, not option 1, option 2, this one, and not having that there makes a lot of sense. And then having the video up top. So this is different than the landing page. The landing page video should be, here's how to duplicate it and how to create your own, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you really need a video for that. You could just say, what do I have on mine? Mine is like, to duplicate this page, click duplicate in the top right corner. If you look at the financial, you see it in green. To get started, click duplicate. Like, you could just have that. It doesn't have to be necessarily a video.
Yeah. This could be the same video though, right there as on the blueprint page. Yeah, that's really clean. Open. Free version.
Oh, and then we want to add. Oh, we didn't add the description. Let me do that so you could see what that looks like. So we'll call it brief description.
Are you on the other business blueprint page?
Yeah. Oh, and you don't need the tags either. So we'll say current focus. Now the next piece of this, right, is, do you want to add in, yes, you see the descriptions there. So the other thing is, the tasks that are associated. So do you want to supply people with a task database for them and then pre-link all of the tasks in there? Or do you just want to have like a check, like inside the actual card page, just a checkbox list of these are the things you should do? Because then people could turn those into their own tasks if they wanted to in their tracker.
My guess is that the majority of them are not super users of Notion. Like I wouldn't have known how to create a task list or a database or anything like that. So I think if I'm thinking about the workflow, and I've just, part of the video will be like, look, every Monday, dedicate an hour to spend in here and look at the next step and put a couple of these to-dos on your calendar, right? Because some of them will take an hour, some will take 5 minutes, some will take 3 hours. Like you got to put the time into your calendar. It could be this week or this month or however long you want this step to take. And it may just be like, watch this video, and it's a 20-minute video, and it's just like, okay, that was the work for that page, and now move this. The last to do is move this card to complete.
Because if you want to do it that way, we could play around with sub items in this database. And so you have the main card and then all the tasks as sub items. And what we could do is have it where it like auto tags the person using it as like a reminder, to work on them. Do you want me to show you how to do that?
Yeah, that'd be sweet. And then is there a way to link a checkbox or a to-do item to an automation that moves it to completed?
Yes.
Because that might be cool too. At the very end of the to-dos is to say, click here to move to completed. Like at the end of a video.
Yeah, like a button.
A button or a to-do. Like as soon as you check it, it moves it to completed and triggers the completed thing. But we're getting fancy now.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm just going to call this the blueprint framework as the view there. And then we will do, we'll call it tasks. So, okay. So sub items, just so everybody knows, sub items are not automatic in a Notion database. You actually have to turn them on, which is incredibly infuriating. So if you go to the 3 dots that are next to the blue new button in the database.
Oh, in here?
Yep. So click the 3 dots, and then there's a thing that says sub items, and you'll see that it shows that it's off. So you click that and you'll just turn them on. So now if you go to your tasks tab and now if you hover over mindset, do you see how there's a sideways toggle now? So these are all of your sub items. So for instance, the 6 human needs could be, watch video, right? We probably don't need the description here. And then the status could be, we could add haven't started. So they know in the task that they're done. Now, for what we could do is, are all the tasks the same, or are they all widely different?
They're probably going to be different for each one. There will be a consistency between like watch the video, but then for visibility content framework, it's like very different than mindset stuff.
Yeah. Well, because what we could do is every single task could be a template. And then when the primary card's created, all of the tasks are then created. But we need to create them all as a template. So if you have a list of those, so just like word vomit. So what would be a mindset task?
Oh boy.
Just give me like one.
So for 6 human needs, it would be, determine your top 2.
Okay. So we'll say human need task top 2. Okay.
So these are
So in
template now.
that automation, yeah. So that's on there. So human need task top 2. So in this automation, 6 human needs. So update human needs, and then let me create a new automation to start. So when a page is added, we want the edit page here. If it matches, contains 6 human needs, and then we are going to update the status to current focus, and we are going to add a page to it, and the parent item is going to be this page. So let me just try this, and then I'll walk you through it. So 6 human needs, and okay, perfect. So it automatically created it, but I didn't add the status. So I'm going to add that, and then the status is going to go to haven't started. Okay, so if you open up the automation page, the automation view, and click on Sarah Loretta's automation, so you'll see down below. So if it matches 6 human needs, the status is current focus, and then we're going to add a page, and this is where the sub items. So the parent item is the 6 human needs page, but we're going to add the human need task as the page with haven't started. So now every time 6 human needs starts or gets created, that task gets added as a haven't started. So it seems complex, but once you kind of get into it, it will go through. So
I wonder, because if I'm looking at this card right now, am I looking at the template or am I looking at the card?
The card.
Okay, because I wonder then, tell me if I'm dumb. So if I go into 6 human needs and edit this template, couldn't I just include brief description, sub items, video, all couldn't this card view be what they ultimately get when the automation triggers? With everything built in? I think I would lean toward that more than triggering automations to trigger tasks.
Well, the task would need to be then a checkbox as a property, but the properties, you can't pick and choose which properties go to what card because it's all in one database. So the task would need to be its own standalone page, or inside the card, the page has just checkboxes, but it wouldn't have statuses.
Right. I'm not necessarily concerned about the statuses because what it did is it added a haven't started over here.
Yeah, which we can hide. Okay. We can hide that. I just didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. What I'm reacting to right now is it feels extra complicated all of a sudden, where everything up to now has felt really clean. So my thought is, if I'm using this, I've just downloaded it and I'm going, okay, that card was just triggered. I click on the card, the mindset one, it went away. But if we click on the mindset one, then all of a sudden everything is already there. I click on the view, and now I've got my check boxes, and I go click, 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 done. I watched the video.
Well, and that's right, and that's what I had asked.
Okay.
Right. So in just open up that untitled page. So just pretend this is the mindset 6 human needs, right? So if we wanted the subtasks here, so these are the tasks of all of the items that you have, right? So actually, let me show you so you can see the status. So you would see here are all of the things that I need to do for this card to stay completed. But I personally want to track my status for every single one.
Mm.
And maybe there's more context that you add to each of those, right? So how do I find the top two, right? Maybe that needs to be its own page. So that's where this kind of setup would come in place. Or you could just have tasks here and then and then it's like find top two, right? That's the simple thing. You just have check boxes.
Yeah.
But then if people don't remember to click into the cards, they can't easily track the task for each one. So it's more of a personal choice for you is, do you want them to be able to, because let me just backtrack and say, if someone has their own task database, the first option I just built would be what they would see, because it would be a relation. They would link in their task database to each one. Or you just keep it simple and let them kind of pick and choose, and you just do the check boxes at the bottom, it's really up to you, however you want to produce it.
Yeah, I think having this way with the tasks keeps it kind of self-contained and easier to edit, because like say I come in 6 months from now and I want to add another task, then I need to make sure I'm adding that to the automation and that it doesn't break and all this thing. Whereas if I go here, I can just edit the template and add another task.
Yeah, that's true.
And if I need context, I could just put task and then a line or a link or a video underneath the task. But
totally.
If you treat it like a course, they're going to watch the video, and that video is going to explain and do, like, we're doing it live at the event, right? So it's a recording of the event where we're doing it in real time. They could be doing those things in real time with the video, which is the ideal. That's the ideal way to do it. Is like, okay, I set aside an hour, I'm going to do this thing. Great. Now we did the first one together and we're going to move on, but you got to go home and do the other 6. Great. They stop the video and then they do the other 6 or whatever it might be. And some of them are like, create your email. It's like, okay, that's a lot, but I'm going to lay out into tasks, go to ConvertKit using my affiliate link and click this, and click this, and click this. It's very much a paint by numbers type deal. The idea of Lego bricks being added one by one. So for sake of my experience with Notion, I feel like, okay, I could do that. I hesitate adding the first version you built.
That's fine.
Just because I think I would break it.
Let's delete it. Totally fine. Not a big deal. And that's the cool thing about Notion, right? Is like you can pick and choose what works for you and what doesn't. So we'll go ahead and delete that. We'll delete this. There you go. Okay, so and then I would say still though, keep the primary status of, current focus versus like you had brought up, like, could there be a button to, that you click at the end of the task, which we could technically do, but I think having them look at the full page, do everything, then update the status, I think we keep that bare automation.
The last task could just be like, okay, this is the last thing, go and drag the card from current focus to complete it.
But if they have the card open, they could just click the status drop down and change it there too. So cool. Okay, I will change that automation. Let me, okay, cool. So we just basically need to create then all of the triggers. Well, we need to create all the template cards, the names, and then create the automations for each of those. But that's basically the setup. I know that took us kind of a while to get there, but talking through things and looking at options are I think really important, especially like, something that you brought up that's really important is, what are the different learning styles of Notion? Are we complicating it too much? Could we keep it a little simple? And the other thing is, like, the more experience someone has that downloads this with Notion, they're going to mold this to whatever they want. That's just how it is.
They can do whatever.
Exactly.
And then once they've duplicated it, there's no connection to what I have, right? So if there's no updates, there's no versioning, there's no. Yeah.
And what I would
about. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, the only thing I was a little worried about is, okay, so the beta test of this is at the event, where I'm going to have everybody, instead of like giving them a physical workbook at the event, it's like, go here, go to this page, click duplicate, open it up in Notion. Now everyone has their own thing. But at that point, the videos are not in there, right? So all of the notes that they take for each one are not going to carry to the next. So they'll basically just have two separate versions. They could copy paste if they wanted to, but they're not going to be able to get their notes into the full version once the full version exists.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could use a synced block. So if you wanted to create, let's say this free version is kind of like your, it's the brain, right? You create this on, how do I want to explain it? Have you used sync blocks in Notion?
No.
Okay. So sync blocks basically allow you to host content in one place. And this is a synced block. Let me just, so you can see. Okay. So whatever I put in this block, I can then link this block into other pages. So anytime I update this, it updates across the board. Now, this is understanding that if somebody deletes this, obviously they're not going to have the same block, but maybe you let people know at the conference, like, hey, after the conference is over, I have a space in here that I can live update in your own copy, and kind of keep you up to date, or just go through and reduplicate. I would say push out a new version is probably the easier, because what I always tell people when they duplicate my templates is, like, once you're done with like the instructions, feel free to delete them. Like, don't keep extra content that you don't need. And so chances are people might do that too, but you could always test it and say, if you're getting a lot of questions of like, hey, what's the update? I also too, I email people. If I update a template, I just shoot out an email that's like, hey, you downloaded this. I've done, a 6-month update on it. If you need the updated version, here's the link to it to reduplicate. And then I include a video on, and I can give you, I have like a templated version I use for everything, but it's how to basically move your data from one thing to the next. So I just include that when I update a template.
Yeah, because if they've done M and O before the videos are released, and I have a new version with the video that I'm starting to sell, and it's included with some of the tickets from the event, it's like, okay, well, how am I going to get there? It's not going to transfer over their completed status. They'll need to do that manually. But if there's an easy way for them to take their notes or whatever it might be, that's what I'm thinking. Because if I'm at the event and I'm going through this, and we basically, that's the other thing though, is I'll probably have a completely separate version for the event, which is all of them, because they're not going to complete any of them and trigger those automations. And I might not even get to the automations this month, to be perfect.
Yeah.
So I could do the version that has all the templates. But then as they're going through it in the event, it's like, okay, we're in the session of this. It's like, I just want my notes in here, right? So I'm just taking notes all the time through the event. It's like those would live in their free version, but not in the video version that they would get 3 months later once it's released. So
yeah. Well, and the other thing too is you could also, and I have that video in the financial tracker that you downloaded. I give 2 versions, right? It's like, the first is, if you're comfortable with relational databases, here's how you relink. If you're not, here's how to move your content. So you can kind of take that second video if you want and replicate it. But what I would even recommend for people is to just say, like, hey, bring your database over here, right? And link it into the new version. And in the video you're walking through, just say, if you're, let's say like 6 Human Needs is done, just show them how to drag and drop it into the new database.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense? Like, you see how I copied it? So they could just drag it down, and then they only need the new cards for the new stuff. Because you also can't move templates from one database to another. So that would be probably their best option, is to just bring in their original database and just drag and drop the old stuff into whatever they've completed.
Yeah, that's super cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to add a special thing at the very bottom of this, like template built with the help of systems.club with the link to your website to make sure you get the credit for this stuff.
Sure. Or just give me an affiliate for any of the paid. No, I'm kidding.
That works too.
No, super, we'll figure that out. I'm not stressed about it. I mean, more importantly, what I would recommend is your legal language, that it is your intellectual property and it's not available to be distributed, resold, created as a template, etc. So just so that, because like once somebody duplicates it, there's no back tracing to your original. So it always helps to at least start the knowledge page with I probably need a different word for that, but like, the initial page that they start with, to have that language there.
Yeah. Add a copyright to it.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you map out all of you have all the original cards here. So I don't mind doing the automations for you, not right this second, but like over the next couple of days. And then you can just go into the templates and add the context. It won't matter to me creating the automation. So if that takes some time off of your plate, I don't mind doing it.
That'd be amazing. Because that's step one on my plate was like, I need to go and create all of those new templates for all of the things. And once those exist, then the automations are easy to trigger.
Yeah.
So
so if you just go in and we can get all the pages created, and then the template, starting the names of the templates, basically, just ping me when you're done, and then I can I'll go in and edit and do all the automations. So it'll take me like 5 minutes. And then you can go into the template and actually add the context, and it'll be ready to rock and roll.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah.
Very cool. That's my one product for the year. 3 hours.
Love it. Awesome. Well, we still have 10 minutes. So is there any kind of like final things you want to go over or talk through?
I mean, the goal for this year is marketing, right? And so if you have any other thoughts or ideas about that flow from getting people in there that I haven't thought about or didn't touch on, where you're like, you really should do this. I do think that having it be a free thing that they could download that doesn't have any of the videos attached, but it is a step-by-step framework that's proven, that's an easy thing to like use as newsletter swaps and freebies and even affiliate stuff of like, hey, here's what I'm promoting. So but beyond that, I haven't thought too much on the marketing other than brute force, creating a lot of content, messaging a lot of people throughout the year.
I mean, honestly, like I look at this as like each letter could be a piece of content, right? So MOVIE, each card or subsection of the letter could be a piece of content. Like I feel like it's like, what's the, oh my God, my brain. Jesus Christ. Not probability. Just like there's so many like different, like no, like it's infinite how many you can create and mix and match. And I almost wonder like what you could pop in to like ChatGPT to be like, expand on this, or like come up with 5 questions about this brief statement that somebody would have, and just push those. I also think too, it'd be really fascinating to use this as like to come up with a pitch and be on podcast to specifically talk about this framework. And that's like what what's the known well for,
right? That's the fun part about all this is my next book will be out in a month or 2. I'm not sure. I'm in the edit phase right now. But the next book is called Blockbuster: How to Create Massively Profitable Independent Creative Businesses. And the steps in this framework are chapters of the book. And so it's very cleanly linked and it all makes sense. And the book is the thing that gets me into events and into podcasts and all those things. So, yeah.
Are you going to give people a copy of the book when it comes out if they paid for, like if they're in the community in that top tier?
They get I did really exclusive hardbacks of this book when I launched my community. And I've given away, I don't know, 12 or 1,500 copies of that book, just the digital versions. And it's been a good lead magnet for, I've probably had 50K of revenue come from the book, but not from book sales. It came from, opportunities that the book created. So I'm not concerned about making money as a book selling books. It's all about, it's a lead magnet. It helps get people in the door. It helps people spend time with me before they ever are presented with an offer. So the book will have a link to download my free template over at blockbuster.com or blueprint.craftsman creative, which goes to the scorecard, which goes, so it's all, like I said, we're operators, so all of that stuff is set. Like that's
the easy part.
That's the easy part. The hard part is the marketing. Like we were talking about on another call, like my first hire needs to be like a marketing ops person who can just be like, here you go, do this. And, so I've got a lot of it in the works. And right now everything is around the event because the event is how I spend time with people and upsell them the big consulting package. That gets me the first quarter worth of revenue set up in the first month of the year. And that gives me time and money to advertise and to get traffic to figure out what's working. And then I can hire out to someone else to run it and optimize it from there. To be like I think, did you recommend Founder Brand to me? Was that you that recommended that book?
Was it, Dave's book? Yeah.
So I'm reading through that and I'm like, I get it. It's the same idea as Key Person of Influence, which is one of these books. Priestley. It's like, okay, I understand that. I need to do that. But I also don't want to take the time to like manually message 100 people a day.
Well, did you read Culture Built My Brand?
I don't think I've read that.
That from Historic Agency. So it's really interesting what you're talking about like links in the book. And I wanted to make sure I bring this up. I love this brand. They're called Historic Agency, and they mainly work with nonprofits and like impact brands actually doing branding and imagery. And so the founders of it wrote this book, but they have a link. Let me see. Where did they put it? They have like a resource page that like website that you can go to. And I actually had printed. Oh, it's going to make me like actually look through this, isn't it? Just like, I think it's like Historic Agency / resources or something. This book was incredible in terms of like building culture within your brand and how to like using resources to, where is it at? This is going to drive me crazy. I wanted to show you the page. That's why I'm trying to find it. But they had, here we go. culturebuiltmybrand.com/tools. And so that was like one single page for all the resources in their book. culturebuiltmybrand.com/tools.
Yeah.
But they had, and it literally goes to a landing page to download the workbook. And I printed it out and I think it was like 30 or 45 pages. I mean, the workbook that I printed was massive. HP Inc. got a good little monthly print budget from me, but it was really helpful. And I'm wondering if like phase 2, like, sure, like a Notion page is great, whatever, awesome. But like if Notion shuts down tomorrow, this entire thing is gone. And so I'm wondering if in phase 2, after the conference, when you have some downtime, beginning of, end of Q1, early Q2, if you turn it into like a Google Doc workbook instead, or as an option, because, and I say this not only because yes, Notion could shut down, but what I find really fascinating about my own data is that my main lead magnet, my audit guide, when people opt in the first email of the welcome sequence, it says download this as a Notion doc or download it as a Google Doc. And there's 2 buttons.
Yeah.
The majority of people click Google Doc, which I find so fascinating because my entire audience are Notion users.
Right.
And so I think like giving, thinking about how to give people the option and not forcing them only into one tool, especially because this is aligned as a course workbook blueprint.
Yeah.
I think it would be really fascinating data wise to see how people, like what people's success rates are like if they have an option of what they're most comfortable with.
Yeah. The third way that I'll do it, I do like that, and it would be really easy as I'm building the templates for each one to just copy paste into a Google Doc. The third version would be taking the videos and making them a course inside Circle, so that once they're spending time in there, it's literally there, and then underneath the video is here's the to-dos and all there.
Yeah. You could totally do that.
That'll probably be end of Q1, beginning of Q2. Ideally, a community manager would take it all and build it for me. You're watching this and you're a community manager.
Seriously.
That's the thing I need as well. But it probably isn't. Unfortunately, it's probably not the same person that's my marketing ops person.
Yeah, probably not. I think, and I think the only like final thing to think about are collecting those testimonials. That's really the only thing in that workflow we didn't necessarily talk about, and or affiliate, referrals.
Yeah, and those I plan on building at the end of each section. Like, hey, if you love this section and you haven't yet, leave a testimonial. Links out to testimonial.to and to.
Oh, is that what you're using?
Yeah,
cool.
And just collect them like Justin Welch does, and it automatically adds to the wall of love, and it gets more people.
Yeah.
At some point,
I use what is it? Testimonial.to. I use Senna, and they've got the wall of love, but I like that I can brand it to my own brand.
I have that one too because they sent it to me. Ollie that's doing that one.
Yeah,
so
Ollie.
I have both. I don't know why I would use one over the other than that was the one that I remembered the website of.
Well, I testimonial, their pricing is vastly more expensive than Senna. Testimonial, for those watching and curious, on their free plan, they only allow 10 text testimonials and 2 video before you have to pay for it. Senna is, like free forever for unlimited everything. I think I'm free forever.
I probably am too. I got in that first month or so. I'll probably use Senna for, I always called it Senja.
I don't know what's
but I would probably use that one for this, just because there will be a lot more. I use testimonial for my film stuff. I do custom budgets and stuff, so it's like I'm not going to have 400 of those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. This has been extremely helpful.
This is great.
I think you definitely highlighted some things that I wasn't even thinking of when we were back in Miro, looking at the flow of how people go through it. I'm like, I hadn't thought about that connection. That's a piece that's missing. And so I'm definitely going to dive into a lot of that. I have a lot of notes on here, the to-do items for myself.
Oh, no.
No, that's, I love that stuff. It'll be done today because that's the easy part.
Love it.
So, well, not today. I'm taking my kids snowboarding in an hour. So,
well, hey, listen, anytime, I am more than happy to walk through stuff. I get really flustered because I'm like, oh my God, when people are on live, they like want answers immediately. But this was nice to, as like friends, to just sit and be like, hey, I just need a second to like figure this out. And you're super cool with it. And like anytime, anybody watching, if you guys ever want to get on live and work through things, I'm happy to do it. But yeah, just ping me. We can follow up. We're going to stay on for a second after I end the live. But for anybody watching the replay, I linked all of Daren's stuff in the description of the video. So go hang out with us on Twitter. If you're also, I'm just going to plug us for a second. If you are wanting to grow X or LinkedIn, Daren and I are starting a little group mastermind. It's us, Chanel, and who else?
Jamie Northrup, minimalist
Jamie,
country.
Our boy Jamie. So if you guys are wanting some just support in growing and just general engagement, ping us. We're doing it on WhatsApp. And come hang out with us online. This workbook will be available very soon. So when it goes live, when Daren launches it, I will update this video in the description and link it out. But yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful new year and you are jumping into 2024 on a positive note. Any questions, comments you guys have, you guys know that my DMs are always open. And I will see you very soon in our regularly scheduled Work With Me live streams. I'll talk to you guys later.